Hello and good evening, and welcome to the I'm Always Serious News. In this week's news, Muslims end the holy month of Ramadan with a bang. San Diego Mayor Filner has finished rehab and is now on the Twitter account of Representative Weiner. Former PA Senate leader Vince Fumo goes back to the big house again. In sports, the Phillies' Riley Cooper is back on the field, and the Phils have roids. In gaming news, Xbox and PlayStation 4 get set for the gaming industry's lethal throat, MMA style. John Smarmy and Dave Morrows will have their weekly sit-down, and our weather from Cynthia Stormy Haskins will bring us shoppers out and cougars to the shore. This and more news on this week's edition of the I'm Only Serious News' Sunday Paper program.
It's the I'm Only Serious News Network with Dan Mahan, John Wild Rice, Tony Viejo, John Kensel, John Smarmy, Dave Morrow, Cynthia Stormy Haskins, and Jim McCauley.
The Muslims finished up their holy month of Ramadan with car bombings in several Iraqi cities. It appears that outdoor markets and cafes are the favorite place of attack. Funny when you think how big some of the Muslim women are, cracker please. The radical Islamists killed 69 people during Saturday's wave of violence, which just goes to show it goes back to the cafes where two can chew. 69, get it? This Talontal crime wave of bombings has long been associated with the 72 Virgins deal that the suicide bombers are said to have. However, I'm Only Serious News spoke with one of these radical Muslim clerics, Ayman Studahir, who stated that car bombers don't get the 72 Virgin deal. He did say his fellow cleric, I'm a going nowhere, a Sunni, who's believed to be in the used car business, told him that with the fifth car purchased, they'll give him a 72-year-old virgin. Take that. The feds attempted to bust an Alzheimer care facility down in Georgia this week in a surprise raid. Unfortunately, when they interviewed all the patients and asked them what type of abuse was occurring, the overwhelming answer was, who, what, and where am I? In city news, Mayor Nutterbutter, Peanut Butter, and City Councilman Darrell Clark continue to squabble over funding for the Philadelphia schools. New school district head Oliver Twist has said that he had plans to have the students help in raising extra funds, if you know what he means. And former state senator Vince Fumo has been released from the prison after stealing tens of millions of dollars from charities who got money from the taxpayers. After serving less than 5 years, folks, he is now on house arrest. The big house, that is, his own 33-mansion estate down in the Fairmount section of the city. Let this be a lesson to all you politicians out there who yearn to earn that $150,000 state senator salary. Crime does not pay, but getting away with it sure does. Cracker, please, get away with it does. And consider that former city's treasurer, Corey Kemp, a black civil servant, mind you folks, who was convicted of 110 less counts of crimes than Senator Fumo, and started serving his sentence 4 years prior to Fumo, is still in the same Kentucky prison. And now, for a word from our Hollywood reporter, John Kensel. John, I understand the Maltese Falcon is up for auction.
Thanks, Dan. Yes, the Maltese Falcon is up for sale for $2.5 million. It's the actual bird used in the Humphrey Bogart film. And it's also that it's worth some extra money because the head popped off and Humphrey Bogart used it as a fleshlight. I saw the new movie Wolverine. Have you seen the movie Wolverine?
Nah, I haven't told it yet, no.
I just have a question. Didn't his parents know he was a mutant when they tried to circumcise him like 50 times? It keeps growing back. And the last thing I want to say from Hollywood, it's a TV-related story. The TV show Pawn Stars from Las Vegas, fakest show on TV. It's all scripted. There's no way it could be real. People walk into that pawn shop and they actually have a copy of the Declaration of Independence, and they get an authenticator, and here it's real. I'm thinking, who goes to Vegas trying to with actual historical items? They're like, honey, give me Napoleon's roller skates. I'm gonna go play blackjack. Honey, give me Charlemagne's fleshlight. I know I used the word fleshlight in 2 jokes tonight. So what? What's it to you? Right? Stuff like that. I think the whole show's scripted. But that's it with my Hollywood report. Over to you, Dan.
And thanks, John. John. Next up, folks, we got a war that's raging here in our country and probably around the world, where Xbox is battling for the gaming rights against PlayStation 4 and the gamers out there to buy. With a report on that, it's our gaming correspondent, John Wild Rice. John?
Thanks, Dan. Anyway, the launching of Xbox and PlayStation 4 are a few short months away. Gamers are putting their pre-ordering money aside, or mom's money aside, or dad's, wherever they're getting it. They're gamers, we don't really know. But they're putting the money aside for a giant bet of which system is going to deliver the best performance for this decade. For the Xbox One, it's $4.99. For PlayStation 4 is $3.99. But the Xbox One comes with the Kinect. It's like always on, almost 24/7, or at least once every 24 hours. Which is almost like, it's like the beginning of Terminator, because they're always watching you. The RAM's almost the same. Their hard drive is both 500 gigabytes. So they're almost pretty much the same. Yeah, they both do DVR for gameplay. You can record what you do in games. Like back in the 90s when we were all doing Mario and Link and Zelda, like, did we actually ever think we were gonna record our gameplay? Oh man, that was awesome! Did you see it? He didn't see it. And keep playing, you know. But now you can record it and show you, hey man, look what I, yeah. Okay. It really doesn't matter about the hardware of these systems. It's about whether you're a hardcore fan of Xbox or a hardcore fan of PlayStation, and if no, it'll be hard to change wars, battles of the side at this point. But I'm an Xbox fan and may have to choose PlayStation because they're doing a better offer. $100 cheaper. Thanks, Dan. Back to you.
And thanks, Rice. Thanks for clearing that up for us. I don't know about you folks, but I'll stick to Pong until that war's over with. Next up, we have our weekly clip where John Smarmy gets together with Dave Morrow. This week they talk a little hatred, and a little sports, and a little this and that. John?
Thanks, Dan. By the way, did anybody tell you can be Abington's Bill Clinton? That's just me. I'm back here at the Dave Morrow coordinates because our last interview was such a rave, the fans wanted more. He's at the picnic table. He has waved me over. I'm going down. This is going to be a second follow-up interview from the legendary underground blogger of Dave Morrow. Right now we have candles lit. It's not exactly the way I want to get intimate with somebody. But folks, someone's got to do it. And it's got to be smarmy.
Where is that coming?
Oh, Dave. How you doing, sir?
Smarmy.
That's right.
Yeah, we're doing another one of them, right?
We're doing another follow-up interview, sir. Please have a seat where you like, and I would join you. Nice and comfortable here. So what's the celebration? I see you got some nice unscented candles and some lotion. What exactly are you doing out here?
This is the start to my own personal little ritual I like to do around this time every year. You know, I think it's important. We all have our own little traditions we follow. I can't divulge the nature of said ritual.
Now, please,
No, I don't.
get into what you brought me here for, Mr. Morrow.
Well, I have a new story that I'm working on these days. With the whole steroid issue in the news. I believe personally that we should have a steroid league. Now, it'd be a bit ridiculous to have 2 leagues of every non-steroid steroid league, but I say we just combine all sports into one, sort of like a triathlon, ninja warrior sort of thing, with a gladiator fight at the end. I think that's exactly what the entertainment industry needs. So on my upcoming novel, The Sand Dunes of Mars, I plan to explore that just a little bit.
Wow. I don't think anybody really has time. Whoa, what's going on? Who's this
Yo,
gentleman?
cuz, I'm from Kensington. Yo, man, check this out. Watch this. Watch this. Come on, man. Come on, head right there, man. Check it out. Later, cuz.
Come on, sir. Live television. We're on live television. There's $1 million system here. it cannot be wasted. We only have a few minutes before we get back to commercial. Really quick, you have received an astronomical amount of fan reviews for anything you do. How do you connect with people? How do you do it without putting any effort in anything you do? Please, Mr. Maher, please discuss this.
Those are people?
Yes, this interview is going out in style. Any last words before we get back to the studio, Mr. Maher?
It's legal to kill your landlord in self-defense.
I think his attorney would agree with that, and I think we would agree that this segment is wrapping up. So I'm going to take it back to Dan Mahan, who's in the studio waiting for us. Dan, what else is on the show?
Thanks, Morrow. Another good report. And the guy from Kensington. Cracker, please. We're getting into sports now, folks. And Tiger Woods, unfortunately, today missed another attempt at winning a major tournament. It's the last one of the season. He said he was tired from playing too many holes. Iowa's News found out the holes he was talking about. 7 from the Waffle House, 6 from the Hooters, and 5 of them, from the clubhouse in which he was playing at. But for more on sports, we have our new sports correspondent, Big Jim McCauley. Jim?
Thanks a lot, Dan. Jim McCauley here with the sports. As you know, the Riley Cooper aftermath is ongoing. For those of you folks that have been living under a rock for the last 2 weeks, Riley Cooper was caught on film using the N-word. That's right, he dropped the N-bomb. Basically, he threatened to beat up every black person at a Brad Paisley concert. Folks, that's not much of a boast. If you want to threaten, there are all 3 black people at a Brad Paisley concert, 2 of whom are wearing name badges. If you want to make a big claim, threaten to beat up every black person at a Jay-Z concert. Now you're talking, people. But you know what? The controversy got one step worse this week. Marcus Vick actually tweeted out a threat saying that he's going to pay a $1,000 bounty to the first person that takes out Riley Cooper. This lends an interesting question, because Marcus Vick wouldn't have $1,000 unless he found $999 laying in the gutter tomorrow morning. And if that prick spent $1,000 on a bounty, he wouldn't be able to go to the canteen to afford ramen noodles and Cheetos. Know what I'm saying? As black people say, that bitch be paying rent. Another story in the news, former Philly, or current Philly, Antonio Bastardo was suspended 50 games for Major League Baseball due to performance-enhancing drugs. And really, this only lends one question to be posed. How bad would Antonio Bastardo sucked had he not been using performance-enhancing drugs? That bitch can't throw a curveball worth of shit. And finally, a little bit of commentary. It's been rumored that the brass of the Philadelphia 76ers have been talking a lot about buying the New Jersey Devils. The team doesn't have a freaking coach yet, but they're talking about going out and buying a whole different franchise. Ed Snyder would be rolling over in his grave if only people would tell him that it was time to go in it at this point. When approached about the transaction, the CEO of the Sixers merely brushed it off and said the devil made him do it. Folks, that's all my time. Thank you very much. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Jim. Next up, we have a report, an MMA report for sports, from our correspondent and local anchor, Tony Viejo. Vegas Tony. Tony?
Thanks, Dan. Alright, guys, this just in. In case you've been watching TNA Wrestling lately, I know this is MMA news, and I'm going to talk about TNA Wrestling. Both Tito Ortiz and Rampage Jackson have been spotted there, playing up in their fictional wrestling world angles. Why, may you ask? Because both these guys can be fighting each other November 21st for the Bellator fighting promotion. Yeah, I'm that excited about it. It's a fight that should have happened, 4 or 5 years ago? Tito Ortiz hasn't been champion since 2002, and he lost the title to Randy Couture. That tells you how long ago that Tito Ortiz was champion. He lost the title to Randy Couture. Rampage Jackson hasn't been able to scrape together anything going on in the fight game for a little bit, but now both these guys are going to be fighting each other in a fight that no one's really going to care about, but it's going to make money because it's 2 big names that you people know. So, spend the money, enjoy it, have a great time. Meanwhile, The UFC's heating up with Josh Barnett versus Frank Mir coming to UFC 164. And next week I'll be talking about that card. Plus, if you happen to catch this in 1 week, you get to see Kale Shonen versus Shogun Hua Saturday the 17th. That's going to be a great fight. And if Shonen wins, you know he's going to talk trash his way back into a title fight again. So I'm really looking forward to that too. Dan?
Thank you, Tony. In more news, the Jersey Shore has found cougars on the loose. That's right, folks. Months after the devastation of Hurricane Sandy, the Jersey Shore is inundated with cougars. They've been seen traveling packs of 5 or more as they go through the local bars looking for young men not much older than their own children. At one Wildwood seaside bar, the Dolphins, as these young men are called, were seen running from the bar, saying, as a pack of cougars were on their tails. Luckily for them, Wildwood has the new law, keep your pants up. And with that, let's go to our local weather report with Cynthia Stormy Haskins. Cynthia?
Thank you, Dan. Cougars. You know, I had my puppies out this week and it felt great. Actually, I was just dog sitting, but the guys are all there. Anyway, tonight we have 1 or 2 isolated showers. A word of advice for dealing with the impending showers ahead. Do not listen to B101. We do not want you falling asleep at the wheel. Stormy has enough on her plate, everybody. Tonight, do not get struck by lightning. Please practice safe lightning during Lightning Safety Week. First things first, remember there is no safe place outside when thunderstorms are in the area, no matter what Javier tells you. If you hear thunder, you are likely within striking distance of the storm, no matter what Javier tells you. Just remember, once inside, avoid contact with any corded phones, electrical equipment, plumbing, windows and doors, and whatever equipment you have in your nightstand, ladies, no matter what Javier tells you. And keep in mind, when Javier is indoors, thunder roars. Javier's got a big dick. Catch some sun in the week ahead and leave those umbrellas at home, and we will make it an interesting summer. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Cynthia. I guess if Javier says to wrap yourself in aluminum foil and go out in a thunderstorm, you've got a big dick. You do it. We're going to wrap up this week, folks, with our weekly Misled Thoughts by our own Tony Viejo. Tony?
Thanks, Dan. Alright. This week, my misled thought is my gripe with the slasher industry. When I was growing up, slasher movies were all the rage. You had for new Friday the 13th every year, or a new Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween. Then it got a little watered down with the Leprechauns and sending Pinhead into space and everything else going on with every other bad slasher movie that came out in the 90s, Scream franchise, but I digress. My problem right now is the only thing that we have to get excited for outside of a Kane Hodder movie called Hatchet, which how many times can they make a guy running around the swamp killing people with a hatchet? A lot. They can do that as much time as they want. That is a beautiful piece of cinema and you need to watch it. Now, what I'm really mad about this week is that the 35th anniversary edition of Halloween is coming out on Blu-ray. Yay! You know, I own every copy of Halloween that's come out, from VHS to DVD. I have over 15 different versions of John Carpenter's Halloween. I have contributed money to that guy's college fund more times than most people have. Check this out. Why do you need to put out a new edition every 5 years? Let it be. Great, now I got it on Blu-ray. Sad thing is, I already have it pre-ordered. But the Friday the 13th, Paramount and New Line are doing the same thing with the Friday the 13th. That's coming out on Blu-ray too. They're just re-releasing them. You know what? Let's make something happen. I already have all these. All the fans already have all these. Do we really need to see Jason Voorhees in Blu-ray? Does it translate very well? And do you know the crisper the Halloween series gets? It goes from wearing a black jumpsuit to almost a navy green jumpsuit. It takes a lot away from it, if you ask me. But that's all I got for you this week. These have been my misled thoughts. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Tony. And thanks to all the correspondents this week. John Kensel on our Hollywood reporting, John Smarmy and Dave Morrow in their weekly chat. Also like to thank the weather with Cynthia Stormy Haskins, our sports reporter, Big Jim McCauley, and of course our gaming consultant, John Rice. And thanks to you for tuning in once again to another edition of the I'm Always Serious News' Sunday paper program. Tune in again next week to catch up on your weekly news. Thank you and good night.